Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul.
And my name's Marta. Welcome once again to the TangentCast.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
A lot better now I've eaten. Low blood sugar, not because I've got diabetes, but just, yeah.
From not having eaten for several hours.
Yeah, well, it was about 4.
Yeah, which for you is like you're basically dying of starvation.
Yeah. Although Stephen was like going through my macros today and he was like, yeah, you're probably going to have to go to like 4,500 calories. I was like, oh!
How many are you on now?
About 3.5 to 4.
So basically you have to cram in another meal.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you're going to be eating like bags of rice at a time. He was like, yeah, you're probably going to be going for like a kilo of chicken every meal.
Don't you already eat like 5 times a day or 6 times a day sometimes?
Yeah, but he's saying that I'm not eating enough.
Jesus.
I know, I was just like, oh.
It's like, I already spent like half my life eating.
I was just like, oh.
Oh, man.
He's like, yeah, we're going to start you at 600 grams of carbs. I was like, oh.
Jesus.
Just, oh.
Oh.
He's like, I was like, yeah, what if I just start getting fat? Then we'll just lower it by 50 grams. Oh. I think this should be called the cast.
Yeah, I think for this week it should.
Anyway.
So, other than drowning in your own tears, have you been playing any video games?
Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion.
And how is that?
Good. Apart from the random 3D sections, can be really difficult to... Okay, let me put it this way. It's not that they look bad, it's not that they control bad, it's just that the camera, combined with the control, sometimes you misjudge distances when you're jumping.
Right. So the camera will switch angle and you'll...
No, the camera stays at the same angle mostly. It's just that the angle, combined with the fact that the platforms are moving, I can't explain it other than if you tried it, you'd know what I mean. But basically, you just like misjudge the distance. You're just like, really? It's kind of because sometimes it goes on like isometric viewpoints and stuff. So you're just like, really? As you fall, which isn't a big deal because it's not like you die from falling, but it's just kind of like. But apart from that, a little bit of Street Fighter 5 since the patch, which has helped a little bit online, but you still do not earn enough fight money. There's still lag, at least for me, and I'm playing on a wide, like 100 and something megabit connection. People, as I said, still rage quit, and I get the feeling that lag is still a problem. I think some people are doing it deliberately though, because I've been messing around with a whole bunch of characters just trying to learn them, and like 1 or 2 matches I'll have perfect, and another one like halfway through it will just go ridiculously bad, which is not too big of a deal until you fight certain characters. Like, if you're trying to fight, like, Karen and lag, it's just like, really? But I've got to say, although bitching on the online side, that's the offline mode, if you've got a couple of friends, it's really good.
Friends? What are they?
They're, well, basically people you hold hostage for a couple of hours.
Oh, okay. Alright. Makes sense.
Yeah. How about you?
I've been pretty busy this weekend, so I have not really had any time to play much other than the hour or so I put into Battlefield 1 the other day.
I assume it went swimmingly.
What makes you say that?
Well, you have an innate skill of first-person shooters, which is matched only by your skill of, like, people.
See, I was kind of hoping the fact that I've been pouring hours upon hours into Overwatch, that perhaps because I'm pretty good at that game, some of that skill would transfer over to a slightly less, shall we say, casual FPS. And what Battlefield
I was going to say something harsh, but I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to be nice to Overwatch.
Yes, please. Anyway, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I basically got absolutely wrecked and decided that I wasn't the best person to do that video.
Is that why James was the one who's
that's why I asked James, or the kid, as he's sometimes known on this channel, to do it for me, because I was like, are you any good at Battlefield? And he was like, reasonably. He's like, can you do this video for me, because no one should be subjected to this horribleness that is my gameplay.
It should just be called How Not to Play the Game.
Yeah, it's like... I got maybe like 1 or 2 kills, and I was just like, this is terrible. I feel bad for my squad mates.
Yeah, you're just like, oh.
It's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, apart from me being awful at it, the game seems pretty good actually. The only thing I've really noticed that's worth commenting on is it obviously has a server browser, which is great, but say I join a server with good ping, and obviously my connection is pretty decent when it decides to play ball, I'll still get pretty horrible rubber banding, and it's not just me. I was speaking to James about it, and he was getting the same thing. Obviously, he lives like over an hour away from me, so it's not a local thing, and that seems to be an issue that's kind of carried over from Battlefield 4 from what he was saying, so hopefully that gets fixed before the full release.
Hopefully.
Yeah, with any luck. So we've got quite a few bits to discuss, so let's move swiftly on to the PlayStation 4 Slim, which Sony continues to ignore, despite the probably like going up to the hundreds now of photos, videos and articles about this console. They still will not talk about it, and I get they don't want to talk details yet, they want to save that for their big conference. That makes sense, that's fine. But if it were me, I would just say, look, we can't talk about it yet, but yes, it exists. I don't understand why that's so hard for them to do. Instead, they deny it and DMCA videos showing that, yes, it's real.
And then the videos get reinstated because you can't DMCA something of a product you own legitimately.
Yeah, because like there was even reports that it might be be stolen. And
No,
it's like, no, it's
you know
not
what
the
the
case.
funny thing is though? One shop was legitimately in the United Kingdom selling them for a while.
Yeah.
Physically. And you know, the funny thing as well is they were actually available to buy on CEX's website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
sell. So it's like, these people are buying them legitimately. You cannot DMCA them just because you don't like the fact that they leaked.
Exactly. Like there was a video I saw the other day where they'd literally just gone out and bought this console themselves and were like, here it is, it's real, plugged it in, hey look, it works, it's a thing, and Sony still refused to acknowledge it, and I don't understand. But regardless of the silliness happening at Camp Sony, that same video I just mentioned basically said that there's no improvements to the actual hardware inside the machine. There's no 4K streaming or HDR or anything like that like you have with the Xbox One S. It's all external improvements to, obviously the size has been reduced, obviously, corners rounded, the USB ports have been moved around a bit, the power buttons are now actual buttons with the symbols on and slightly recessed rather than those weird strips that are on the original. The improved controller, obviously, and there's a little sort of panel on the side that you can pop off if you want to change out your hard drive, so it's a bit easier to do that now, which is nice. And I believe, they've removed the optical out port for some reason, so I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not really that impressive.
No,
it's basically the replacement for the PS4.
Yeah, that's basically what I was about to say. From that and the fact that the box is literally just labelled PS4, I have a feeling this is meant to just replace the current one. It's not meant to be sold alongside it like the Xbox One S. So the PS4 Slim is going to be the new standard PS4, and then the Neo is going to be the one with hardware upgrades. So.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of glad in a way because I'm hoping Microsoft catch up a little bit for Sony, because I think it would be good for the market. Because I wouldn't say Sony are getting complacent, but I do feel that they're getting a little bit.
Well, you don't want any one company, be it Sony, Microsoft or Bob's Chip Shop, to have any sort of monopoly for too long, because it just makes them get complacent.
Exactly. And I was actually having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was saying that I wouldn't say both consoles have had disappointing exclusives, but I would on average say that both consoles haven't had super impressive exclusives. For example, on the PlayStation 4, Infamous was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Killzone was a pretty good game, especially for a launch title.
Mm-hmm.
You've had Bloodborne, which was okay, but I think there's way too many problems. I don't think it was a patch on Dark Souls, in my opinion.
Right.
And you know, you've had the Order 18. Oh, well, never mind. You've had never mind. You've had.
Well, the Order 1886 is a exclusive. It's just not very good.
Yeah, but that's why I was just like, never mind.
Yeah. The thing is, though, neither machine has that many actual exclusives.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot.
Microsoft on Microsoft's end, they basically have no exclusives anymore, because all of them, barring like Halo 5 and Sunset Overdrive, are also on PC now.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons that my argument is the best platform at the moment is the PC.
Yeah.
Because I had this discussion with, as I said, Stuart yesterday, and he said to me, to be honest, he would go on PC tomorrow if he could like bring all the social aspect for the multiplayer side. But you can't always do that.
What do you mean?
Like for all the multiplayer games and all of that, like he just likes the simplicity of just setting up a party on the Xbox.
Well, You can do that pretty easily through Steam, I think.
He can, but his friends don't have that, and it's like they don't play PC games.
Oh yeah, no, I suppose if all your friends are on Xbox or PS4 or whatever, that's probably where you're going to go, because if you play a lot of multiplayer games, then being able to play with your friends is a big plus.
But he did say that he wants to get more into PC gaming for single player, because when you think about it, you've got PlayStation Now available now for PC.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Which means basically you've got loads of PS3 games which are just fantastic. You've got a lot of the Xbox exclusives playable on PC and some PlayStation exclusives playable on PC.
Yeah.
And you've got all the PC games which are exclusives like StarCraft and whatever else.
Yeah.
And then you've got the definitive best versions of all the multi-platform, apart from a few shitty ports.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have a few unfortunate examples like Batman Arkham.
Yeah, but even
Arkham
so,
Knight.
to be honest, I'll be honest, I didn't have any issues. I don't know, everyone has their own thing, but I think, to be honest, the reason
overall, though, I think we can say that was one of the worst ports in recent memory.
You know why I think I didn't have many problems with it? I think, I didn't do enough testing to even say that this is confirmed, denied, or whatever. I was using it on an AMD card, but I was using it with 8GB of RAM with my card, so I wonder if it was cutting out a lot of the swapping and so on.
Right. I mean, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard it's better on higher VRAM, but regardless, the port was shocking. They have fixed it now, so if you are contemplating buying it,
after it was pulled from sale for months because it was shoddy. So PC gaming most of the time I would say is better, but we do sometimes get bad ports. Like Quantum Break was also not good, but that was mostly the Windows 10 store's fault.
Yeah, it was. But
it's coming to Steam at some point. It was just delayed the other day.
With that said, I am looking forward a lot to Scorpio and Neo to see what they can help, because they're going to help PC gaming.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Right, so let's stick on the console train for a second, as we have some more bits about the NX this week, as Nintendo refused to tell us what it is, but we have a couple of things, and the most interesting thing to start off with is the rumour, or report, should I say, that it's going to be region-free, which would be pretty awesome.
I actually think that's a really good idea.
I mean, in this modern age, there is literally zero reason to have region locking.
I think most PlayStation 4 games and so on are.
With both PS1 and Xbox One, they're both region free. The only thing that is not region free is the DLC, which does make sense.
Yeah.
So if I buy, I don't know, Call of Duty in Germany, I can still bring it home and play it.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way.
Yeah, there's literally no argument to be made for why there should be region locking nowadays. There's none. So, I mean, it would be a bit of change of tune for them, because none of their consoles in recent memory have had region free. They've all been region locked.
Safety mod it.
Yeah, but ignoring that, legally from the shop, it's all region locked, and the DS was region free, but then the 3DS was region locked. So it would be an interesting turn for Nintendo, but it would actually be pretty nice, actually, if they did do that, because that means that a game is exclusive to Japan. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You can deal with the fact that it's in Japanese. You can play it.
Yeah, which means that if you've got the ability to, speak multiple languages.
Well, even if you're just playing a game that doesn't really matter about the story, you just want to play the game, it doesn't really matter that it's in Japanese, as long as you can understand the controls.
And when it gets hacked as well, people can just play.
Yeah, and undoubtedly there'll be a fan patch or something.
Exactly.
The other thing is that the prototype allegedly has 32 gigs of internal storage.
And 7.2-inch screen or something.
Yeah, apparently the
Is it
tablet
720p?
thing that docks in has a 7.2-inch screen or something like that.
That's kind of small.
Yeah, and the storage is not great. I'm assuming that's just for the saves of the actual mobile component of the console. And there was another report from the Wall Street Journal that basically brings up again that the console is going to use cartridges instead of discs. And obviously, as you discussed before, that's actually smart, as weird as it sounds, because obviously you need to think of an SD card rather than, an old school cartridge.
Yeah, basically. The only thing I've got against cartridges is it's going to make swapping them a lot less simple, and you've still got less space than, let's say, a Blu-ray. But assuming they can do it for a reasonable cost, and obviously we don't know their costings, I'm actually okay with it. I think it's a really good idea. It should make games a lot faster.
Yeah, it's the read-write speed that's going to be really good.
Yeah, precisely. You're going to get a lot less latency. The game should load a lot faster.
Yeah. So people were saying that in terms of like cost versus production, SD cards and that have actually gotten a lot more efficient, whereas discs have kind of just stayed the same over the recent memory.
Basically.
So there might be a way for them. This might actually be cheaper than doing discs, as weird as it sounds.
Which is bizarre, but
yeah. So that's that. So let's move on to Silly Buggers Town, otherwise known as BT are suing Valve for the most vague patent thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm pretty convinced it's a patent troll, to be honest, because this patent, I can't believe anyone even granted it. It's so fucking vague. I can't remember the patent wording verbatim off the top of my head, but it's basically saying that they own a patent called the Gibbons or the Gittins patent or something like that. Where
just quote the Git patent.
basically, this patent covers things under third-party subscription services all being brought under one storefront. Apparently they own that as a patent. And I'm like, okay, so why aren't you suing Netflix? Why aren't you suing Amazon Prime? Why aren't you suing Now TV? Because those are what they're describing. A subscription service where you pay to get access to third-party materials.
It's not a subscription service. It seems it's a subscription.
I know. I'm getting to that. That's what the patent is. And they're saying that Steam somehow breaks that because they have digital products on their storefront from third parties all gathered in one place. And I'm like, okay, where's the subscription service? Certain games have a subscription service, like Final Fantasy 15, for example. Not 15, sorry, 14. And other MMOs that might still charge. I can't remember off the top of my head. But those are the very, very few.
The problem is, like, so many stores now. It's like PlayStation. It's the same thing. The
I was going
PlayStation
to
store,
say,
the
like,
Xbox
that's
store,
what I'm saying.
Windows store.
This is like half the internet they're claiming that they own, and I'm like, this is who granted this? I don't understand, and I don't see it going well for BT, to be honest. And the funny thing was, like, part of the complaint is that Valve ignored them. Like they brought this to Valve's attention in 2014, apparently, and Valve just ignored them. They didn't even bother replying.
Right.
They literally just ignored them, and now they're in their lawsuit, as well as alleging this. They're basically crying, go, "You didn't acknowledge me."
You know what? I'll be honest. If this actually goes through,
It won't.
yeah, if it does, it's actually really bad news because
It won't though. It's so silly.
I know, because this type of thing, they could physically troll everyone.
Yeah,
It's
so
worse than
if the judge just gets a brain aneurysm that morning and decides that BT are in the right, they could literally turn around to Netflix and everybody say you can't do this anymore because the judge ruled in our favour.
Yeah, or we're going to have like 10% off your
Yeah,
money.
they're basically saying they own the internet at this point.
Yeah, because it's literally. I mean, to be honest, even YouTube Red, they could do it with.
Yeah. So, well, not even that. You could Origin, Uplay,
That's what I'm
GOG.
saying. World of Warcraft, technically, because you can buy certain things for it, and it's all down to interpretation. That's the issue. The law is down to interpretation.
Yeah, so it makes no sense, and I hope the judge basically laughs them out the courtroom, to be quite frank.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so as
And
well.
Valve has a lot of money, so I don't
So
think they're going to be
BT, though.
Yeah, but I don't think Valve are going to be shy about bringing out the high-priced lawyers, to be honest.
No.
And just basically being like, lol, get out. Don't think so. Anyway, do you want to talk to us about Zen?
Yeah, it's actually... Well, as you know, there's been a whole bunch more details leaked about the front end.
Yeah,
of
there's
the
several
process.
videos from you on this, right?
Yeah, so they're mostly technical related.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, not too long didn't read, because I don't want to get super technical into this video.
No,
But-
we don't want this video to be 3 hours long.
You know what's funny as well is I recorded the second part of the of the Zen,
Mm-hmm.
and basically I was like, okay, it's an hour long. But then I noticed after I put the first part up, after the second part up, which was half an hour because I did a poll, that there was crackling on the audio. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to re-record this.
Oh, God.
So I re-recorded the next part, but then the third part, which was originally going to be 27 minutes, it turned into like 45 minutes or something. So I somehow managed to add like another 15 minutes. I was like...
It's quite impressive.
I was like, oh my God. Make it stop when I was editing.
Oh, you do like to say words.
Well, when I was writing out the article, it turned into like 4,500 or 4,600 on one page.
Dear. Anyway, do you want to give us the summary of what was discussed regarding Zen?
Basically, the too long didn't read is that this processor is looking to be really impressive. There's still a lot of questions like regarding the performance. Like, are they choosing Blender? Because Blender is basically open source.
Right.
So there's some new instructions, for example, on the AMD CPU, and you wonder, well, are they making Blender use those instructions.
Right.
So is it not inherent to all applications, or does it just do really well with that application? What's the maximum clock speed is then? And there's a whole bunch of questions, which, as I said, I went through exhaustively.
Yeah.
But I have to say I'm really impressed with what AMD have done. And I don't... See, a lot of people are saying, well, you know, what's going to be faster? And I don't think it has to be faster than Intel or cheaper than Intel. It doesn't have to be faster. It doesn't have to be cheaper. It doesn't have to be better at multi-threading. It just has to be better than one or two things of Intel and give people a compelling reason to be like, you know what? Okay, Intel's great at these things, but AMD are cheaper and maybe better at multi-threading, or AMD are better at this and this. So I think it's not that they're going for like, we're going to beat Intel at everything. I think they're going for, we're going to be competitive with Intel at everything, but we're aiming to beat them in these areas.
Right.
So I think it's going to be really interesting over the next couple of years.
Okay. We discussed last week the rumours surrounding a Duke Nukem 3D remaster.
Out to the king, baby.
Yes, exactly. And it was confirmed, but it's probably not what you're thinking of. It's not a full remaster in, like, you know, some amazing engine or anything like that.
I didn't think that.
I know, but I'm sure some people were hoping for that. That's not what this is. Basically, obviously, the original game was in a 2.5D engine. It wasn't true 3D.
No.
But now it's in true 3D. That's what they've done. They've taken the game and put it in a true 3D engine. That's literally it. However, they have also added a bunch more content. There's another chapter. There's chapter 5 of 8 levels.
How much more content? They've added in a microtransaction store.
There's a bunch more music from the original composer. There's a bunch more voices from the original voice of Duke. There's new enemies and a new weapon and stuff like that as well. So it actually sounds pretty cool. It's out on October the 11th or something.
I'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? I'm assuming it's not going to be full price. It's probably going to be like 20 quid or something. That's what I'm saying. So it's not a full remaster, which I'm sure some people are hoping for. Everything, PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, PC all the way, of course. So yeah, I'm actually going to pick that up because I have not played the original in
a long time.
Forever. I can't remember the last time I played it.
Duke Nukem Forever?
No. That game is literally cancer, so, you know. Anyway, something about GTA? No, not G2A. That lawsuit from Lindsay Lohan
Got dropped.
Yeah, it's dismissed. So
I know, because it's like me saying, I could literally take a random photo, 3 months later, oh look, there's something that happens to be a vague facsimile of art.
It got absolutely crushed in multiple ways, and I'll tell you why, right? Okay, so the judge basically said that not only did this not really look all that much like her, which is arguable, but even if it did, it falls under satire. So even if it was her,
and the image as well was in the public domain.
Yeah,
she released the image.
Yeah, it's not just that. Like, you can't use someone like this for advertising without the permission. But this wasn't advertising. This is a video game. That's not advertising. No. In fact, it's a satire making fun of her, or if it's that trope of type of person, or whatever you want to say. So it just failed in multiple ways, and there was another accusation from another person about a similar thing. And she also got nutted as well. So basically 2 pretty flimsy claims have finally been crushed in court. So
crush.
Yes.
Kill.
Exactly. So that's good. Common sense prevails. Let's hope it also prevails with BT versus Valve.
Pretty much.
One other thing I want to discuss is how there was a hope for a while, thanks to Patrick Soderlund, that EA might be at least considering a Mass Effect remake. Basically, EA went from, yeah, we're never doing remakes, to, yeah, we're open to it, and Soderlund kind of alluded to the fact that it could possibly be Mass Effect. And now Peter Moore has basically flat out said that a Mass Effect Trilogy remaster is not happening, at least in the foreseeable future.
Did he say why?
He gave the usual PR speak, but what it boils down to, I think, is that if they want to dip their toe in that particular water, which is a very profitable water, and I'm sure EA will do it, they don't want to start with a trilogy.
No, I don't blame him.
And it's not just a trilogy of, like, 15-hour games. These are like 30 hours, 50-hour games, you know?
Well, they're pretty damn long if you really want to.
Yeah, like if you really want to do all the side quests, they go on a while, and there's a lot of content there, and they might...
And you know what? People are also going to bitch if you either change things, like for example, they might change the Mass Effect 1 planet scanning, and someone will bitch. If they don't change it, someone's going to bitch.
I said before it was denied by Peter Moore that what I think they should do is kind of do what the Resident Evil remake did and have the classic control scheme and the new control scheme, because Mass Effect 1 control scheme has not aged particularly well, from what I remember.
I think it's fine.
Well, yeah, that's why you have the option for people who think it's fine and for people who don't think it's fine.
Yeah, and people that don't think it's fine, they have an option.
Which is what?
They don't play the game.
Or, if EA do that, then you have the option. Just like in Resident Evil, you can play it with the tank controls, you can play it with controls that make sense to human beings.
I've got to say, though, I mean, as much as I played with those controls, the new ones on Resident Evil, it makes the game a lot easier. Like, it actually ruins the balance of the game.
Yeah, but I still play with those on because the tank controls in the original Resident Evil games are horrendous.
I can get used to them, but it takes me about an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, I could get used to
we played it like that when it came out because that's all we knew, but now going back to it, it's just like, oh god, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So, you know, when Resident Evil 2 comes out, hopefully they do the same thing, and I'll quite happily play it with new controls. Because, yeah... yeah, so basically Peter Moore said that they're not going to do Mass Effect. He didn't say ever, but he alluded to it's not going to happen.
Anytime soon.
Yeah. And he basically said that BioWare have kind of got their hands full Mass Effect Andromeda right now, which is fair.
I'm guessing that means that no Dragon Age remaster either, considering it's probably even longer.
No. I doubt that will ever happen, to be honest. That is far too much work. What else could they remaster, do you think?
Who, EA?
Yeah.
You know what I'd love for them to remaster?
What?
Some of their old games. For example, Magic Carpet.
They won't do that. They won't do that.
Or Dungeon Keeper.
That would be cool.
Or,
but then they'll make us remember that mobile game exists.
Or Jungle Strike, or one of the Strike games.
I've actually played that.
Really good. Check it out.
What kind of game is it?
It's a helicopter game where you shoot things.
Ah. Wasn't there a game on the Genesis called Super Thunderblade or something like that where you play as a helicopter?
Possibly.
I remember that.
But this is different. It's basically like tactical.
Ah.
So, for example, you'll be sent on missions and you blow up things and then...
Well, you're a helicopter. Of course you're going to blow up stuff.
Well, in my defence as well, you know, things tend to like exploding.
It's true.
So basically, I'll tell you what, another game I'd like to really see remastered. A lot of Core's old games, Core Design.
Name a few.
Thunderhawk. I think it's called like AH-1 Attack Chopper or something like that in America. It was released on the original was released on the Sega CD or Mega CD if you're in the United Kingdom, and then it was released on the PlayStation 1 and I believe and the Saturn, and I believe the third one in the series was released on the PS2. But I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Battle Corps remastered.
Right.
And there's another game which I can't remember, but basically there's like 3 really awesome Core Design games I'd like to see remastered.
Okay. Yeah, I mean EA have a huge amount of games
this is on Core,
under their umbrella, I guess. So they're probably going to start off with one game and go from there. They might not ever do Mass Effect. He didn't promise they would, but he didn't say they never would either. But from his phrasing, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Nope.
No.
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 So he crushed many people's hopes and dreams that day.
You know, I'm actually happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it means I don't have to wait to replay the game. Because I know me,
that makes no sense. You can replay the game whenever you want.
Yeah, but then you get to like the factor. It's like, for example, do you play the game now? It's like, let's say they said, oh, okay, well, we are going to remaster it. It's going to be released like late 2017, just for example.
Right.
I think to myself, okay, I don't want to play it now. I'll wait. So everything's fresh. I can really enjoy the story. And then, of course, inevitably the game will be delayed another 12 years. And then I'll be like 80. And then they'll still be like, yeah, it's going to be released next month. And then it'll be delayed again. You know, I kind of just like the idea of, okay.
Yeah, but... So, by this logic, you would rather that they didn't remaster the game so you don't have to wait for it to come out?
No, I'm just saying that I would like them to remaster it, but not announce it. I'd like them to kind of just...
So, you want them to be smart and not announce it till it's almost done?
Yeah, or like, announce it, but if you are going to remaster it, it's not just like Mass Effect with slightly better controls and a nice
Well, no, I would assume that if BioWare ever want to do this, and they might not ever want to do it, they would do it properly.
I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be on a new engine and everything else.
It would probably be on the Snowdrop engine, I think it's a new one, is it called? No, the Frostbite. Snowdrop is something else.
Yeah.
Frostbite engine.
I don't know, I can't remember actually what Mass Effect Andromeda's using.
It's probably Frostbite, but...
Might be an Unreal Engine, actually.
I'm not sure. Honestly, not sure.
So I know the old ones were.
Yeah, I mean, they might be working with that, but they might not. So, I don't know. Alright, so I feel like we should wrap it up there because it's fairly late here and I think we're both flagging a little bit. So, anything else you want to discuss before we wrap this up?
I'm pretty good actually. I'm at the point now I'm just like, I need sleep. It's 8 PM and I've been awake since early and I've been doing work all day.
Get your slippers and your dressing gown, okay?
Well, in my defence, I've been working since 12 on bloody website design and stuff for Stephen.
Well, I'll be working all day too.
Yeah, well, you weren't starving and dying with lack of sustenance and nourishment in your body.
Well, no, but still.
Nah.
Alright. No, I'm trying to end the video.
Okay.
I'm trying to end the video.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, so thank you very much for listening, guys. We will see you next week.
Pretty much.
Bye.
Pretty much.